NASDAQ has just filed with the SEC to bring tokenized securities directly to its main exchange, a move that could reshape Wall Street forever. From equities and ETFs to U.S. Treasuries, we're talking about traditional assets going fully on-chain. And guess what? This could be a massive game changer for Ondo Finance and the entire RWA sector. Welcome to AI Crypto Pulse, your daily dose of crypto updates, AI-driven insights, and market trends. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest in crypto and blockchain technology. In a development that could reshape global finance, NASDAQ has officially filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, seeking approval to trade tokenized securities on its main exchange. If granted, this move would make NASDAQ the first major U.S. stock exchange to bring traditional assets such as equities, exchange-traded funds, ETFs, and potentially even Treasuries fully on-chain. The announcement has sent ripples across the financial world and sparked renewed excitement in the rapidly growing real-world asset, RWA sector of blockchain technology. Among the firms most directly impacted is Ondo Finance, a company that has been positioning itself as a bridge between traditional markets and decentralized finance. Currently trading just under $1, Ondo Finance has emerged as one of the most closely watched projects in the RWA space. But NASDAQ's bold step is not happening in isolation. In parallel, Fidelity Investments, one of the world's largest asset managers, has partnered with Ondo Finance on a new tokenized fund. These converging developments underscore a broader trend. Wall Street is finally moving from exploratory pilot projects to large-scale adoption of blockchain-powered financial products. According to filings, NASDAQ has requested SEC approval to allow tokenized securities to be traded directly on its primary exchange. While tokenized products have existed for years in smaller markets and pilot platforms, this is the first time a U.S. exchange of NASDAQ's stature has made such a proposal. The significance cannot be overstated. If the SEC grants approval, shares and ETFs could be issued, settled, and traded on-chain, reducing settlement times from days to minutes while maintaining the same investor protections already embedded in U.S. securities laws. This would not only modernize U.S. capital markets, but also potentially open the door to 24/7 trading, breaking away from the traditional 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. market window. Such a system could dramatically expand market access, level the playing field for global investors, and increase overall liquidity. Most tokenization efforts, including those pursued by Ondo Finance, are built on the Ethereum blockchain. By anchoring settlement on Ethereum, NASDAQ's entry into tokenization could dramatically increase demand for Ethereum's infrastructure. Every tokenized transaction would require gas fees, and wider adoption could trigger new growth cycles for Ethereum. For Ondo Finance specifically, the news is even more bullish. Ondo is already providing tokenized versions of U.S. Treasuries and equities through its recently launched Ondo Global Markets platform. With NASDAQ preparing to enter the same arena, Ondo could become a direct partner, or at the very least, a primary liquidity provider connecting institutional investors to tokenized assets. Currently valued at just under $1 per token with a market cap near $3 billion, Ondo remains relatively undervalued compared to the scale of opportunities in the RWA space. The partnerships it has already forged with BlackRock, JP Morgan, and Fidelity provide a clear runway for growth. The second major development of the week came from Fidelity Investments, which announced the launch of a new tokenized fund with Ondo Finance's OUSG fund as the sole anchor and largest investor. OUSG, launched by Ondo in January 2023, was designed to tokenize short-term U.S. Treasury yields. It has since become one of the most successful examples of how blockchain can modernize traditional financial products. Fidelity's decision to anchor its new fund with OUSG is a strong validation of Ondo's infrastructure and strategy. In a public statement, Ondo expressed pride in playing a pivotal role in catalyzing adoption, noting that the partnership with Fidelity builds on earlier collaborations with BlackRock. In March 2024, BlackRock launched its USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, BUDL, another watershed moment in the tokenization of treasuries. Ondo was the first to integrate Boeddle into its ecosystem, and it is now repeating that success with Fidelity's product. The move toward tokenization is not limited to treasuries or equities. Analysts estimate that trillions of dollars worth of assets, including real estate, commodities, bonds, and private equity, could eventually be represented on-chain. Tokenization offers several key advantages. Faster settlement, from days to near instantaneous. Lower costs by reducing intermediaries. Increased transparency, every transaction verifiable on-chain. 24/7 accessibility. Global investors can participate beyond market hours. For institutional players like Fidelity and BlackRock, tokenization is no longer an experiment. It's becoming a necessity. For startups like Ondo Finance, it represents a once-in-a-generation opportunity to capture market share as traditional finance transitions into blockchain-native infrastructure. Despite the broader cryptocurrency market showing relatively flat performance this week, Ondo has emerged as one of the top movers. On the day of NASDAQ's filing and Fidelity's announcement, Ondo rose by over 3%, briefly touching 98 cents before retracing to 95 cents. While short-term fluctuations are inevitable, analysts point out that Ondo's current valuation does not fully reflect its deep ties with Wall Street giants and its pivotal role in the tokenization boom. At a $3 billion market cap, it remains small compared to the trillions in assets potentially moving on-chain. Many analysts believe the next wave of institutional capital will flow into U.S.-based, regulatory-compliant crypto projects, particularly those involved in RWAs. Ondo Finance, with its SEC-compliant offerings and partnerships with some of the world's most respected financial institutions, is positioned as a frontrunner. As one commentator put it, you can't buy everything in crypto, but if you're betting on where Wall Street money flows next, Ondo is a clear favorite. The coming months will be critical. The SEC must decide whether to approve NASDAQ's filing, and Fidelity's new tokenized fund will begin onboarding investors. Meanwhile, BlackRock's product continues to gain traction. If even a fraction of traditional finance embraces tokenization at scale, the RWA sector could dwarf many existing crypto categories. For Ethereum, it means surging demand for block space. For Ondo Finance, it could mean exponential growth in adoption and valuation. As the fourth quarter approaches, all eyes will be on NASDAQ, the SEC, and the small group of crypto-native firms, like Ondo, that are bridging the gap between Wall Street and blockchain. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the latest crypto news and insights.